Welcome everyone to another stream I did not plan or wanted to make. And it wasn't a joke that yesterday I couldn't operate live stream from Linux, although desktop Linux, everything else relatively amazing except maybe Pulse Audio. But you see, also I really wonder, so I was never really the greatest fan of web development. I found this always well, back in the day from 20 years ago with a little bit HTML. Well, this was even the time probably before JavaScript, right? Server-side static HTML, server-side processing there, this SHTML, server-side something, whatever. And server-side includes or something. And of course all the server stuff. Then of course Java applets, which was of course obviously one of the more annoying things anyway. This web applet, Java apps. And yeah, of course, then the rise of JavaScript, of course, initially interpreted, then just in time compiled, and then HTML. What did we even had 3, 4 HTML, HTML5, and JavaScript and asynchron JavaScript, something. Ajax is asynchron JavaScript and something execution. I don't know, something, whatever. And so the issue is I really can't operate the YouTube live stream, and so first I thought something broke on my Linux, because certainly that is my own, right, T2 Linux here, built from source, but I didn't even build something the last days. I probably still have here some terminal, although I don't actually can open a larger terminal here for the views. How's our drop frame? So yeah, then I thought, but let's show you this here first. So then I checked what did I even build here in T2. This is var adm logs, for example, and reverse time here, only PC emulator, rendition, Linux, and yeah, Blender, so nothing since then. So it's not most likely, according to my logs here, that this broke this. I didn't rebuild here something that broke that. And when we take now a look here, because naturally I thought, okay, something broke locally, right? And when you inspect here, obviously you all know that here in the audience, you can, in this browser, you click inspect elements, just here something random. And when you then took a look here in the console and stuff like that, how many errors you see here. This is of course totally ridiculous in my opinion. I don't know if this is a cause that this amazing beta live stream studio doesn't work for me, but it certainly looks like a little bit too many errors for my taste. And also the point of this video, is this web stuff too messy? Well, it's just like one standard over another standard, and then the vendors, they innovated their incompatible stuff back in the day of Internet Explorer and Netscape and whatnot. And yeah, now each and every vendor needs to innovate there. There was not an HTML5 standard in a very long time and stuff like this. And I really have to wonder, this is also hilarious. You really have to wonder if this web development really is too messy, and I experience each day sites that do not really work properly, even in Firefox or Chrome. And let's take a look here in the error console. So yeah, these are the errors. I'm not making this up, right? And here, deprecated HTML imports, name, type error, and Creator Studio, Polymer, JS, and yeah, also 12,000 lines of code. And then the problem is even, so first of all, this is not my job, right? So I will not debug this here for Google. I have better things to do, like writing Voodoo code. And second of all, I mean, this becomes really huge, right? Like monstrous, humongous application, spider webs of spaghetti code. It's kind of, to me, a wonder that this stuff even, well, all this graphic video stuff works at all as it does. But yeah, here, so type error, Creator Studio message cannot read property get hours of undefined, file name undefined, stack trace, and uncaught in promise type error cannot read property. This also get hours, Polymer. So yeah, whatever. I think earlier there was other stuff. Let's see what is Firefox showing here. Security. Yeah, also could also be some security hiccup, right? I don't know if this. Well, surprisingly, it works on macOS, but this is also Chrome. So I'm now sitting here. This is also ridiculous, right? You need 3 PCs for live streaming. So this is also Chrome, but maybe not the very latest version. Surprisingly, on Mac it works. And however, of course, we are here professionals with some 20 years of experience. So I even took my bloody Surface out. Let's see, does it want my password, or sometimes it wants, probably, oh no, it doesn't. And yeah, so same, so I'm not making this up. This is Chrome, maybe not the latest because I'm not turning on the Surface stuff. It is hanging exactly the same. So this is not my desktop Linux fault. And it's hanging exactly in the same state as this bloody stuff here, which is exactly the same. So desktop Linux, 100% bug compatible with Windows Chrome. Thank you very much. This is even on Linux. This is a official Google Chrome. So yeah, web, right? And I mean, I already avoid web. I'm not really using any cloud web stuff for any business related stuff except here this YouTube streaming. And even then can't make this stuff up. Even this fails on me. It's somehow, I don't know, do I attract so much bad luck, or is it just broken for most people? And how many errors were they message unhandled? So yeah, it could also be security. I have the same problem with emails right now. Some emails that I send probably need to update some SPF records with sender policy framework stuff. That sometimes some email servers right now don't like our company emails. Also complexity, right? Each year they need to invent their new fields and whatever to send emails. That each and other year, I really wonder, right? We still get 10,000, if not 50,000 spam emails a month, but our own emails that are already sorted last year, I updated all the latest and greatest domain, SPF, and whatsoever entries all over the place, and SSL certificates. But yes, so here, what is here? Security policy could also be security, right? That someone at Google messed up their something. It could also be that they somehow accidentally or intentionally serve some other content here on the Mac, that it doesn't work on Windows and Linux, so no idea what's up with that. But there you see also the complexity of debugging, right? I never really enjoyed stuff. Of course, I can write HTML and a little bit JavaScript, not the greatest fan of JavaScript though. But as always, leave me in the comments what you think about this. Is this too messy? Is this a complete unmaintainable standard spaghetti code stuff, or is it amazing? I don't know. I'm a little bit biased here. And also, imagine which normal desktop application, if you start something like, I don't know, anything reasonable, but nothing really comes to mind right now, because when you start your browser, even when you start a browser, I probably started a browser here somewhere, and yeah, even if you start a modern browser, you get here some warnings. So can't even say if you start something reasonable like a browser, because these browsers themselves already a little bit spaghetti code-ish. But yeah, whatever a reasonable example of an amazing desktop app except our exact scan might be. And yeah, which normal app would start with runtime errors, with security policy issues, unsafe inline within script? Is it even on screen? I sure hope. And script dynamic specified, and ignoring HTTPS within script source. So yeah, there you have it. 2019, even the leading company of internet fame here, Google, cannot get their HTML and JavaScript act together. Mouse event, mouse pressure is deprecated, which ironically, this is of course Firefox, so even in Firefox it's deprecated. And then your unhandled exception, JTLS client error height, file name, Creator Studio, Polymer JS, stack trace, also here's something. And yeah, good luck analyzing this errors unhandled action of whatever here. 28,000. Yeah, then the problem is also that often, can we click on this? What happens then? Does something happen? Often this stuff is also intentionally obfuscated and compressed, so then it's even often very hard So yeah, I mean the scrolling performance, you probably already guessed it. It's so much code and highlighting that even the scrolling is lagging on this Core i7. Probably need to boot the Ryzen with 64GB of memory to snappily scroll this. So yeah, good luck Google, have fun debugging this. I'm certainly will not do that. Been there, done that, certainly not with this. So yeah, you need, you don't need one desktop Linux for live streaming, you need 3. 2019 you need 3 devices, can also 3 devices for live streaming, because if you're lucky on one of them, I mean, it's probably labeled beta for a reason, but the problem with Google is of course that the non-beta stuff is totally ugly and outdated, and even if you use it, then sometimes the non-beta old stuff doesn't work, and then eventually you get used for the new stuff, and then you want to use the new stuff, and the new stuff also doesn't work, and yeah, on. Anyway, there you have it. 2019, can't make this up. Another video I didn't want to make. No, I put the YouTube comments away. Here are my YouTube comments. YouTube comments, and yeah, and then on this the YouTube comments are not loading, so I have no idea if someone leaving a comment. I hope audio works. At least we have some signal, shouldn't be totally broken. Let me reload this here again. Maybe this only working YouTube live stream management interface can also load. Why does it show end stream? I don't wanna. Site can't be reached. Hello? Can we also reach the site again? Not that. Don't tell me just in this. No, but we have 0 drop frames and 6 Mbit outgoing. Thank you very much. Probably should not have let this Mac to go to sleep. Not amazing when this can't connect. What is with the Wi-Fi now? Anyway, doesn't make much sense to wait for the comments. Hope you learned something. Maybe that internet sucks and HTML sucks and probably everything not the most amazing. As usual, leave me in the comments below what do you think about the situation. Is HTML, and also another point I wanted to make, right? So I grew up with, well, Turbo Pascal and assembler. At least then you knew what you were doing and learned how machines work. And of course, certainly assembler, not maybe Turbo Pascal more. Of course, Pascal is not very trendy and hip anymore. But nowadays, people grow up here with this JavaScript, and they think this kind of, in my opinion, messy affair of chaotic standards and breaking stuff is normal. And I'm really fearing that we create a generation of developers who only know this and think this is normal, this state of error messages and messy stuff. And the next generation of computing will be so much more error prone and broken just because people grow up with this and do not know anything else, and this is a kind of level experience and the mindset they grow up with and inherit and work in. And we have a comment after reloading everything here. Web coding in general is a cluster, something so Christian at least agrees. I feel sad for those brave souls having to deal with making sure stuff works and as browsers as possible. Yeah, and then even I have already Chrome here as reference. I never had this before. I mostly, for example, installed this here. So I totally agree. I'm feeling kind of sorry, but the sad thing is also like with yesterday's IT news, where there is upcoming HTTP 3 upcoming, where I have the impression HTTP 2. Previously known as Speedy, already very few people use, and with this kind of development I don't get the impression that we are making the right progress here, also with web standards and all the frameworks and clobbering everything together. I mean, there's a reason. I mean, besides, many websites use 20 frameworks just for user tracking and ad tracking and ad delivery and statistics and analytics and telemetry and whatnot, but they often also use it for React stuff and dynamic stuff and whatever fancy UI stuff, and this of course complicates the stuff, right? Even I made the other live stream, should we make an operating system as snappy as macOS and user-friendly? But then when I think about maintaining a browser, even if we like fork WebKit, Chrome, Firefox, something of that sort, even the code bases are so monstrous. You've seen me struggling each time Firefox is being updated, struggling with Rust, getting Rust in Cargo compiled. Although at least when you use Chrome, you right now don't have just Rust in Cargo. So yeah, that's one thing. I have a couple of more strings. So if you people are interested, we could not only do I have, of course, there are news. Maybe not the best, maybe not the worst thing that we switched here to not weekly news, because we have breaking news as usual, and then I also made some Voodoo progress because why not? And yeah, of course, now we have the most people. Always takes a while until people tune in. Yeah, so for all the new people, YouTube Studio, Creator Studio, live streaming stuff is broken. Doesn't work for me from 3 devices. I sit here already with 3 devices just to go live. I'm not making this stuff up. To summarize this here right now, broken on desktop Linux, Chrome and Firefox, and even Chrome on Windows here. You can watch the beginning of the stream, and the only random stuff where it right now works is Chrome on macOS for whatever random reason. Hope you enjoyed this. Leave me in the comments below what you think about the situation. And by the way, I can't stress enough, don't base your business on cloud stuff. We totally don't do this. We are not using any, well, except YouTube for video live streaming, but not for like other primary business related things. The only thing we use cloud is actually only a little bit important stuff, which is salary management stuff or reporting to the government. And the reason for this is previously we had a Windows software, and certainly we don't want to use the Windows software. And the Windows software, which by the way, fun fact, huge shout out Lexmark, the biggest piece of shit, not a paid advertisement. Don't ever use this no, not Lexmark, Lexware. I think maybe German Lexware is the biggest piece of garbage. Updates for this accounting software stuff were 300 euro a year, and then it didn't even really work. And each year it became worse and worse, and after 5 years and of degrading 5 years of 300 euro for this update that each year worked less, I said enough is enough, and we moved the accounting, salary reporting stuff to some cloud thing, just not to have to deal with this Windows updates, but it's the only thing. So if this fails, then certainly this German company for salary reporting stuff has other challenges, and then whatever. But at least not daily. The only thing that could be delayed is salary reporting. But anyway, at least this cloud stuff, of all the failing cloud stuff, the salary shit is at least the one that works somewhat. However, even there I had bad luck. On last December, I clicked on the day before Christmas on report this to the government, and I thought it reported, and then in January I got a reminder, hey, you missed the deadline, you didn't report it. It's like, wait a second, one day before Christmas I clicked on the button. So much to cloud fail, even that can, whatever was up with there. Maybe that was a cloud fail, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave me in the comments below what you think about the state of the web, because somehow it is peak bugs also. Yeah.